difficulties.
Now it is.
All right. Are we good? We're good. Tonight, it's all about the Frost Force. Tonight, the Rising Star podcast, we've got the infamous Ryan Frost joining us tonight, alongside with the GMX of Test of Strength, Alex Rojas. After multiple technical difficulties,
I don't even want to start. I don't even want to go. I'm so over tonight now.
Woosah, Kels. Woosah.
Oh my God.
It's all about the game and how you play it, remember?
Yeah. That I will say.
But first things first, now, we were trying to start before. I had something major at the beginning of it. Kels, what are you doing? Please don't touch anything.
I'm not touching anything.
Okay, I thought you were messing with something and it was screwing it up again.
No.
Can I say something real quick, Joey G, real quick?
Yes.
I am so grateful for Kelsey, for you, for Al. I'm so grateful for everyone involved with this right now. This is going to be a really good conversation.
I fucking hope so, for all the things that we just went through for over an hour.
Stop! They don't know that. All right?
Yeah.
Conversation that we're going to have together as friends, right? So let's just enjoy this, please.
I can't
yeah,
wait.
this isn't even a podcast. This is just four homies hanging out. You know what I mean?
Like,
so don't stress it. Yeah, like, this
for
is family.
real.
But
it's like the OG quarantine status.
Right.
But so I was going to start off before, and then we had like 9 million technical difficulties. Ryan Frost is getting ready for one of the biggest matches of his entire career this Friday at Test of Strength Lone Survivor in Hartford. Tell me your thoughts.
How do you feel about that?
How you feeling about that, Frosty?
I feel like there have been times where I've been in a position that I always wanted to be in, and I didn't feel like I should, and maybe I didn't perform the way I would have liked. I feel like at this point in time, like I'm ready for this. And that's, if you saw it wasn't a podcast, what's Center Ring? It's a TV show. Center Ring is a TV show. If you saw Center Ring with the press conference from Test of Strength, I said, like, there's no more chances. Like, I do not think that I can just walk into a Test of Strength championship match. I have to win Lone Survivor so that I can go to Fight for Your Dreams in September and challenge for the Test of Strength championship. Otherwise, why am I going to keep getting chances? Like, you can't just keep giving them to people for no reason.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as the GM of Test of Strength. I'm not saying this is your friend Frosty. You've never been given anything. I never gave you shit. I don't give anybody nothing. Every opportunity you've ever had, you've earned. And every opportunity you've had, you've knocked out the park. You have. You've stepped up and you've performed. And yeah, has there been situations where things didn't go ideally as smooth as they should have? Of course, but that's life. But I never gave you a goddamn thing. If anything, I've made you earn everything tenfold over everyone else. And I think that's why the people rally behind Ryan Frost, because he's not chosen. She's not chosen. You know what I mean? He's not the popular choice. He's not the Cody Rhodes that gets crammed down your fucking throat every day. Like, Ryan Frost earned that every single time. And I think that's why the people resonate with him. And in every market that we have introduced Ryan Frost, he has excelled. Now, I will say that after what I saw yesterday at PvP, you found that next gear. You guys weren't there last night. I missed y'all. I wish you were. Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling had an amazing event, benefit show for the Ludlow High School wrestling team. And Ryan Frost was there in an amazing 5-way matchup with 4 of the top guys in the independents. I mean, he was in there with Steven Stetson. He was there with Brett Ryan Gosling. He was in there with Sammy Diaz. He was in there with Ichiban. And these guys tore the roof off the building, in the building that Frosty made famous, I will say, So it was a hell of a match. And if BRG wasn't the cheating scumbag that he is, Ryan Frost would have been the #1 contender for the PvP All Valley Championship right now. So he's up for it, fellas. He's found another gear, and he can wrestle 3-4 guys at one night and perform at a high level. And I've seen him do it, and I have no doubt that Ryan Frost is going to impress come Friday.
I have all the faith in Ryan Frost this Friday. I think that's why myself and the rest of the Frost Force are behind him for Friday's Lone Survivor. It's going to be pretty damn epic seeing him go up against 5 of very talented competitors and opponents, which include Light Son Mike Skyros, the Lost Soul Keith Youngblood, top 5 that are alive Sammy Diaz, Joseph A-Game Alexander, and Travis Jacobs. I don't have a nickname for him. I just think he's tall. But
that's pretty much it. Yeah, he's
so,
just, you know.
He's a standout at the Monster Factory, which has produced a lot of the greatest competitors to come into professional wrestling in the last 15, 20 years. You know, Travis Jacobs is definitely a threat. Like, I can't sit back and say, oh, well, because Sammy's in this match and because Keith Youngblood's in this match, I don't got to worry about this guy. I have to worry about everyone in this match because everyone in this match can win this match. It's terrifying to someone who's in the match, but it's exciting to you because you get to watch, you know?
Can I be a little biased? I'm kind of hoping Keith Youngblood does good just because, like, I've only seen him in NEW. I've never seen him do anything outside of that. Great.
Exactly.
I'm sure he's going to do fine.
I don't think she agrees with me.
I'm sure he's going to do
Dakota,
fine. Keith Youngblood is a hell of a talent.
Who do you want to win? Do you want Ryan Frost to win? Yeah.
Ryan.
Say it. What's his name?
Ryan.
There you go. Can you say Frost Force?
Thank you, buddy.
Frost Force.
Jesus.
Good job.
I love it.
You have a 3-year-old fan right now.
Thanks. That's awesome.
But no, I'm just excited. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. I'm taking her to see her father's dad over the weekend, which, you know, she hasn't seen since, unfortunately, the funeral. So I'm not going to be able to be there, but I know in spirit I will be there. But I wish I could see that because to know that Keith Youngblood one is going to be facing you guys, which I think is amazing. And then to see you and like Alex, I'm going to bounce at what Alex said. You weren't given everything. You're not like, I'm going to say like how WWE does it, you know, handed things like they do. And I think you did get your own fan base just on your personality alone and what you bring to the table. So to see you in a big match like that, I think you have good chances. I hope so. At least for me, I hope so.
And
Listen, I know.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Alex.
Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead. It's your show, brother. Go ahead.
I feel like.
Wait a minute. Oh no, I'm not gonna hear that again. I got so mad yesterday when someone posted about Joe and the podcast, and I'm like, what about me? Am I chopped liver? Is this not
your co-host?
Now this is the setup. Like we have the microphones, and I got so mad. So this is your show. No, it is
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I meant. I meant it's his show, as in I cut him off, so he should go. Jeez, they're feisty.
I am feisty.
Al, what's going on?
These little ankle biters, boy.
She's about to get super kicked through a glass shop window.
Oh boy.
No. As I was trying to say, as we spoke on Don Kincaid's Stirring the Pot a while back, like last year with me and Simon, I feel your fan base just came out organically.
Sorry about that.
I feel like we just naturally gravitated due to the fact that we saw, and I know it all came from that feud with the stepdad almost 3 years ago now. That, as I said, one of my favorite matches of all time at TOS, the stepladder match, where you and Cold Cash were taking on the stepdads, and what started off as Cold Cash was getting completely booed out of the booed. It was actually like a wild crowd, I remember, because you got half the side doing cheering for the stepdads and half the side cheering for Cold Cash.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end, Stepdads won, but after the Stepdads came out to help you with TJ, which I'm glad you guys were able to work everything out now, the whole arena was just chanting Ryan Frost, Ryan Frost, Ryan Frost, Ryan Frost, even with the Stepdads music playing, which was pretty cool, and I think it just organically grew. And it's still such an awesome moment.
But I think that right there shows something too. If another person's music is playing, but they're chanting your name, which has nothing to do with the person's theme song, that says a lot.
Well, as the booker, or, promoter, whatever you want to say it, it was a special moment because you can't take anything away from any of those guys. Like all of those guys put together that moment. It was a beautiful it was a beautiful moment in Test of Strength, like history. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you go back to and you hold on to because of what happened. It starts off with this. We're just there to see Cold Cash get destroyed, right? As a fan base, that's what we're there for. And these guys fought their asses off with these two other guys, and they told a hell of a story. And by the end of it, we had to respect them all. I mean, even TJ, who was, public enemy number one at the time. When you go back and you look at it, you have to tip your hat to him because what a hell of a performance with those guys. And they all stepped up, and they all earned their place on this roster. And we built something crazy, something amazing from there, and it's something that we can revisit at any point in time, and it will always be magic.
I'm gonna apologize real quick.
And there's
I've been on a
Step Ladder Warfare 2 happening.
We'll get that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, Frosty. This is your moment. We'll get to that.
I'm gonna apologize in advance. Yes, I'm eating an ice cream. I'm on a diet. I want sugar for the day.
You're allowed.
But I'm also starving now, so y'all want a hangry girl? I need to eat something.
I told you you don't need to be on a diet. You need to be on a try it. What are you eating? I'll try it. That's what you need to do. You need to gain like 20 pounds.
No, it's more I'm on not a diet. It's more I'm trying to tone out.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I've been doing a lot of cardio. Obviously I don't need to gain muscle and I don't need to lose 100 pounds or anything like that. But I've been trying to clean eat. So I eat one sugar thing a day. This is the only sugar I'm having.
I'm not mad. I'm just mad I don't have
Side note. So my first match I ever saw Frosty was actually at your benefit in 2022. And that's when all these guys came, or was it when everyone turned on Frosty? When was that? That was my favorite match, but not my favorite because everyone turned on him, but it was kind of showing that, oh shit, Frosty's being targeted now. That means you're serious.
I think that was the House of Glory.
He got hit with a kendo stick.
I think it was the House of Glory. The dojo showcase was House of Glory, Team Bell Time, Team TOS.
Yes.
And Frosty was the captain of Team TOS. That was for my benefit show.
Okay,
yes.
so that was the first time I ever saw Frosty live, other than at Joe's birthday, but live in the ring. And it was yo, there's these big dudes, and yet he held his own. And I was just kind of impressed. I was yeah, he is a big guy, and usually big guys can hold their own, but it's how you are in the ring that you even alone tell a story. And that's rare for a big guy to kind of tell a story. We were just saying with Alan Cumbus last week, how back in the day, smaller guys, say Dean Malenko, hate to say the name, but Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, they told a story in the ring. Well, I know some people are a little, I'm not biased over Benoit in the ring. Amazing. Obviously, his personal life, he had issues, whatever the case may be. But they told a story in the ring. But Frost just kind of does that, just him being in the ring. He doesn't need to say anything. And I think that takes charisma and a unique person to be able to just go into the ring, do his match, but not even have to say a word. And yet what he's thinking. So that's just me. I could be wrong.
No, but Frosty's one of those very expressive performers. He's got great facials in the ring. He's got great body language. And when he's on, man, he's on,
And he's not even doing it to be funny.
No. When he's on, he's an amazing talent, and the only thing that has ever stood in his way has probably been his own damn self. But that's a different story for a different day. But 2024 is going to be big for Ryan Frost. You guys are going to see a different side of him. He's going to be bigger and meaner and faster and stronger than everybody else that I put him in the ring with. And you guys are going to see some amazing chapters written in the Book of Frost this year.
Which I like to hear.
We were going back. Say side note. Hold on, Joe. On my end,
I think he froze up on us over here.
No, the recording is covering Frost's face. All I see is from him down. I'm kind of sad over it. I can't see his expressions other than like his mouth.
So, Frosty, you were going to speak before Kelsey spoke about her ice cream sandwich.
Do you have any idea what the context was?
I completely forgot.
Yeah,
he being an angry, hungry white girl.
Yeah,
it's okay. We'll come back to it. We'll find it. I'm sure we will. So let's just keep rolling. You know.
It was honestly about the upcoming match. We were talking about.
Yeah,
that.
we were talking about Lone Survivor. Talking about Lone Survivor and how you feel, going into it, coming out of it.
I'm not. If you don't win, you feel like you wouldn't. You have to win it. I have no excuse.
I thought we were getting into stepladder warfare too. I'm not.
Well, he did plug that. So you know what? Let's talk about stepladder warfare too. So March is a big month for us because not only do we have Lone Survivor on the 15th, but March 30th, LIT, Legacy is Timeless, starts its search for the first ever champion. And the very first match of that show, called Certified, is Ichiban versus Ryan Frost. That's how we're kicking off the show. So it's going to be crazy. I said, you know what? Let me do something different. Let me give you a main event first. And
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, give you a main event first, and it's going to be insane. It's two guys that have a huge amount of respect for each other. Two guys that have been tag team champions together. And it's a very special thing for me because it is Big Jim Anderson's tag team partner and best friend in Ryan Frost, and his favorite wrestler, in Ichiban. So it's one of those things where it means a lot to me. I mean, you guys don't know this, but wherever me and Frosty went with Jim, after a show, if we were gonna get something to eat, it didn't matter where we went. If they had a numbered menu, he was getting the number one. And not only was he ordering the number one, but he was saying it in the doofiest way possible. Like he would, number one, just like he would scare the little girl behind the counter, because he was huge, making this crazy face. So for me, this is
whatever.
So for me, Legacy is Timeless being what it is, what it means to me, and Certified being technically our first real show, because the Lituation was a benefit show, but this is officially the launch of the promotion. I figured that I had to do a tribute to my, one of my best friends and biggest influences in the business, who's no longer here with us, and my two best friends in the game today, in Ichiban and Ryan Frost, who are both, my favorite people. They're amazing students, but they're my brothers. Like we really do this together. We hit the road together. We laugh together. We cry together. How's it go? We ride together. We die together. Bad boys for life. It's us. So
it's
a beautiful thing.
Think that Ichiban's just going to beat me and I win, and then I go on to win the tournament.
I don't think anybody thinks that Ichiban's just going to show up and beat you, man. I don't think that that's. I think that if anything, this is the hardest match to predict. Because Ichiban's so fast and so explosive, but like
it's literally Rey Mysterio versus Big Show.
Pretty much, yeah. It's that type of match.
I hate to like compare the two, but you got tall, big, tiny, fast.
It's David versus Goliath for sure. It's like, one of those things.
It's literally two different styles of wrestling coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelsey, I'm not busting your balls. at all. I'm just saying the Big Show was not as mobile as I am.
No, I know,
was
and
like-
that's why I said please don't take offense. I'm saying
I'm
like
not
because you're
taking
bald and like like versus you're tall compared to Ichiban. Like Ichiban's kind of tiny, but he's very fast.
I think it's more like Spike versus Mike Awesome. Like
That's actually more. That's more fair.
Okay.
Except Spike's doing the spots.
And I love this man. I love Ichiban. That's my favorite wrestler in the world. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm gonna pick him up and throw him over the top rope to the crowd, like, because I
Please let him
want.
land on
please,
Joe.
Throw him on Joey. Yes. Throw
And
him
then
on Joey.
Joe, you
And-
needs to carry a Pokeball. So earlier, and then again, side note, he was convinced that Ichiban was a Pokemon because all I could say was his name. So please carry a Pokeball if he does throw him on you, so you can be like, I caught you.
All right, we're gonna put a kibosh on this Pokemon thing right now. Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
Ichiban doesn't only say Ichiban because that's the only thing he knows how to say. He says that because it's the only thing that matters to him is being number one. He can talk just fine. It's just in his mind, all other communication is just like not
Blasphemy.
necessary. He only has one goal, and that's to be the very best in the world, and he lives
Just
by
like
that
Pokemon.
rule every second of the day. No, he'll kick Ash Ketchum's ass. All right.
Well, you shouldn't have said the very best in the world because that was the beginning. I want to be the very best. Like, just kind of coincided just a little bit. So you should have said that.
Your lifetime front seat that you have at LIT just got revoked. I want you to know that.
That's never gonna happen.
But yeah, no. So Ichiban, that's what it is with him. He just cares about being the best, and it's the only thing that matters. But have you seen in this feud that he has with Wagner Brown how personal it's become? He's letting you guys know that it's not a game. It's not a game. And come Friday, I think we have our first ever double champ. So it's going to be really, really big when Ryan Frost steps into the ring one-on-one with the man with 2 belts at Certified to become the first ever Legacy Established champ.
Now, would he give up one championship if Frosty were to pin him?
No, those titles would not be on the line. This tournament is for something completely different. Can we if Frosty does pin him at Certified, yeah, then Frosty is the number 1 contender to whichever one of those TOS titles he wants. Because that's how it works. But
before I'm gonna win Lone Survivor.
So Frosty might just be a number 1 contender regardless.
Okay, so either or.
One now.
So now, Frosty, I have a question.
Yeah,
if you could face anybody, like whether mainstream people, indie people, who would you want to face? Who's your dream opponent other than Ichiban?
I'm glad that you said other than Ichiban because
well, because you said he's your favorite, so like I wanted to kind of like go away from that and see who else could be like maybe in the future someone you can wrestle, whether it's in the indies or even just in like mainstream TV wrestlers. Like, who is your dream opponent?
Can I give you a multi-tiered answer?
Absolutely.
Okay. So on this level where I'm at right now, and I'm not saying that this individual is on my level. I'm saying this individual is within reach.
Mm-hmm.
I think me and Big Bacon Brad Hollister would have a banger.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000% on that one.
And that's not even my idea. That's fans who are asking me when I'm going to fight him. And I'm like, I don't know. He works in different places than I work. He works, on IWTV every week at Beyond. I don't know.
If only you knew a guy that could make that happen.
Right? Oh, man. I think his name starts with an A.
Wrestle him. Because he has an amateur background. I have an amateur background. He throws people over his head. I throw people over my head. That's one person that is within grasp that I think would be.
Okay.
If you want to talk about people who are like out of reach, like that'd be crazy. I really think Claudio Castagnoli is the best wrestler in the world. Like, I don't think anyone is so much better than him that you could say better. because it's so close. And that's not just because we're both bald white guys. It's, he's fantastic. I don't know that my cardio is up to the task, but I would love that match.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you're asking.
I could tell you who if I could book somebody against Frosty, and it'd be just for me to like. I would love to see Ryan Frost beat the piss out of John Moxley for 20 minutes, because somebody just needs to do it for the business, you know. So that's one that I would book.
Go sign this. Anybody who's in any companies, I'm not. I'll work a match with them.
No, and but let me make this clear. It's not in one of those backyard HPV hepatitis filled matches that John Moxley likes to have. No, it's not with the glass and the barbed wire. No, I want this guy, this so-called wrestler, to show up to a wrestling venue with a real referee that doesn't look like a clown painted horse, and have a one-on-one wrestling match with Ryan Frost, because I think Frosty would beat the piss out of him.
I have
wrestled. Now, what do you think?
Ohio, so I could potentially have this match.
Frosty has beaten real world champions.
Now, would you ever fight since you were kind of like talking about John Moxley? I know Eddie Kingston's kind of one of those like backyard brawlers too. Would you want him to like kick his butt too, or I want to see you, Alex, actually go word for word with him? Bronx versus Yonkers, like that's a dream match for me. Just you two on the mic. That would be like kind of funny.
See, that wouldn't really be much of a match. I mean, I'd be talking and he'd be screaming and swearing. Like he wouldn't. You know, it's like it would. Eddie Kingston is a certified tough guy, right? But if he was to step into a promo war with me, he would be unarmed in this battle of wits.
What about Enzo Amore?
See, Enzo's got a chance. Enzo can really talk. Yeah. But again, I mean, properly motivated, it's tough. I think it's tough to beat me on the mic.
I don't know who I'd want to see Ryan Frost go at it with. Big Bacon, now that you say it, I'm like, oh my God.
That's a great match. Yes. That is a great match. And it's something 100%. That can happen very soon.
Like that would be LIT, honestly like an indie dream match.
I got somebody I want to see face off against, and this is only because I've thought about it, just because I feel like they both match up in size, and this might be a little surprising. I want to see Frost take on the Duke of Danger, Daniel Evans. You know, I feel like they have similar size built wise, and I feel like they could just slug the hell out of each other.
Is he still
be a nice little house fight?
Is he still wrestling?
As far as I know, he is. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my out of reach. I would like to see you just like stand next to the Big Show. Obviously, he's not as mobile. But just to stand next to bald man versus bald man, tall versus tall. I don't know if he towers over you. I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen you in person in a while, so I know you're tall. Like then I'm a dwarf, so like
I got one of the managers here at Americana where we're doing the after party, right? He thinks I should fight Pete Dunne. That's what he thinks.
Pete Dunne.
I think Pete Dunne's a little. He might knock a tooth out of my mouth, but I think he's on a different weight class than I'm at, right?
Yeah, Pete Dunne's more Ichiban size than he is yours.
Yeah, so, but Mike, hey, come on.
It'd be a good fight. It'd be a good fight.
This is the after party.
Hi.
After Lone Survivor. Got a manager here. We have a great restaurant. If you're not drinking, you can still get food. Please.
Come on down.
When you're done with Lone Survivor 5, you got to come through here.
I don't think Ichiban will make it. You will get that walk.
Well,
and I think Mr. Monsoon is going to have a special wrestling themed drink menu for us that night too.
That's cool. That's really cool. Everyone really, if you're going to go to that event, you should really check out that restaurant when you guys get out. Because I know after a wrestling event, I get hungry, so check it out.
And then while we were on camera, I think that I'm gonna get Mike to agree to something that he hasn't agreed to yet. But I think the Americana is going to be the official hangout after party for all the LIT shows as well. So.
Nice.
I'd like to check that out.
Trees, but he just left. So.
Oh. Now, if you could tag with anybody, I know you used to have a tag team partner. Am I wrong, or you had a partner?
Tag team partner with three-time tag team champion with 3 different partners, but you know.
Okay, Indy. Okay, do it again. The tier. So, if you could tag with anybody and win the championship, who would it be?
Ichiban, number 1.
I would say, oh, that would be like Edge and Rey Mysterio, like having, their moment, or Batista and Rey Mysterio. Like, I'm just gonna keep comparing because I know he's a luchador. Is he a luchador?
He's not a luchador. That's the thing. A lot of people compare Ichiban to Rey Mysterio, which is cool, but he's more like Jushin Liger. He's a junior heavyweight. He's not a luchador. He doesn't do the Mexican wrestling style.
So, okay. I was gonna just ask like what the comparison is.
I personally
seem like I'm shitting on your comparisons. I value and appreciate your comparison. I just understand that like I'm a different animal than Big Show is. He'd beat the tar out of me. He'd punch me once and I'd be done. I get it.
I mean, but you count.
You know who's a fair comparison? Tyson Kidd and Claudio.
Was Tyson Kidd the one with that like one line of spiky hair?
Yeah.
Oh, that me and Joe would get angry at the TV. I mean, I want to shave that. Where's their hair?
It was a stupid look, but the guy in the ring is a workhorse.
No, I agree.
He was one of the best
can never
ever to do
wrestle
it,
again.
So. He can't.
Luke Harper's bald spot. That's the thing I hated the most. When
I remember that. You got so mad.
I would sit there and I get so mad because that would be like that's the only thing I would spot, and it drove me nuts. Even when we would play the WWE game, me and my buddy Mike, who sadly passed away, it drove me nuts to see that stupid bald spot, and they even included that in the game, and I just was like, oh my god. But
hey, John Cena's got his bald spot in the game too.
But
that's awesome.
But I know you Frost,
that.
the person he'd want to team with is Ichiban. I personally still want to see Cold Cash win the Test of Strength Tag Team Championships. That's just me. Like, I'm
is
the
Cold
kind of
Cash the ones that Q's a part of?
No.
Okay.
Cold Cash is Frosty and TJ.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Which is the
It's
one
right.
that Q's a part of?
Paid in full.
That's
No.
okay.
But no, I still want to see Ryan Frost with Cold Cash win the tag titles because I feel like that's something. It's one of those things that bothers me with like I always want to see like a tag team that's been together for a while eventually like win that belt, like because it always bothered me. It always bothered me in WWE that Crime Time never won the tag team titles.
I know, and then like of course he unfortunately passes away, and then that's when they like recognize like the whole tag team as a whole. Like they in the time were comedy gold. Like they were funny, but they also kind of knew how to put it in the ring too. They're kind of like, I don't know.
There was a lot of tag teams that should have been champs that didn't get to be champs,
But that's like even now, I feel like when tag teams, like, or even just as a whole become so good, like you're like invested into like all these different tag teams. And then it's like, oh, this one specific tag team just holds the titles for like ever.
I'll see.
And it's like,
here's the thing, right? And I know people like to complain about the long title reigns and all of that, but
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why people complain. It's the most successful title reign of all time.
No, it's annoying.
The belt actually means something because you can't beat the guy that has it.
No, it means nothing when the guy doesn't show up half the time. It's literally another Brock, in my opinion. Shoot me in the foot.
The guy is
reminding me of Brock Lesnar. He's not there.
The guy is he's there for every single big event. He performs at a higher level than everyone else. He sells more merchandise than everyone else. He sells more tickets than everyone else. He is the best wrestler in the world.
He is not the best wrestler.
You can be upset if you want, but he is the best wrestler in the world. He holds the most important championship in the entire world, and no one's been able to take it from him.
Because he won't let anybody. It's just obnoxious. Like, He literally. Oh well, if he didn't
He,
have
he
whatever
doesn't.
the
Hold on, listen. Let me tell
guy,
you.
his cousin.
You want to talk about you want to talk about people not getting out. Roman Reigns has given opportunities to the entire roster.
And then his
Everyone on the
cousin
roster.
just comes in and
Everyone
bulldozes
at the
people.
everyone
But if
on
he
the
didn't
roster
have an
got in a
entourage,
title shot.
he didn't.
Everyone
have an
on the
entourage.
roster has gotten a title shot.
Okay, and
Before
let's
Roman
do
Reigns. Before Roman Reigns, who was getting title shot opportunities? The same
No.
three guys.
Okay, and Brock
same
Lesnar
three
sat there
guys.
and was like, "I'm not giving up my title. I'm not doing anything. Pay me
Brock
another
Brock
$1.5
Lesnar was
million
another
for the month."
Brock Lesnar's another guy that was a huge.
None of us were in that room. Brock Lesnar wasn't saying that. He just
Bet
happened to
you.
legitimate combat athlete in the world.
You if you guys like, I don't know, fans, I love you guys, but sometimes you guys just don't think correctly.
I just don't like Roman
Muhammad Ali
anymore.
was the greatest boxing champion of all time. Why? Because he was the champion for like 8 years at a time. Like you couldn't beat him. You couldn't beat him.
I hate to like go kayfabe a little bit, but that's like legit boxing. Like where you really don't know who's gonna win versus like WWE, where like okay,
more fixed than wrestling. What do you mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's true. The NFL is more fixed than wrestling. Did you guys see the Super Bowl?
Oh, that
I mean,
that was
okay,
because
so,
Taylor
like-
Swift is banging out one of the fucking players. Oh, we gotta
Listen,
let
all of
Casey
this-
win.
all I'm saying is Roman Reigns, whether you guys want to acknowledge it or not, or see it
If
or not,
he
because
keeps the title at WrestleMania, I'm literally gonna like.
Well, okay, let me ask you this: what happens after Cody wins? What happens after
Well, then
Cody wins the title?
Cody's story would be over, and then there would
It's
be no
over. He's gonna
story
be
for
boring
Cody.
as shit, just like everybody else.
Well, that's why I think Triple H is gonna come out and fuck him up.
He's gonna be boring as shit as everybody else. Cody, listen, I love Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is an amazing.
Roman's story is over too.
Listen to me, real
Give
quick.
the title to somebody else.
Roman's story is not over. Roman Reigns is the only one that has a story that can keep
It's
going.
over for me. It's over for me.
I have a big match.
Cody's story is my dad didn't get a belt, so I want one. It is the saddest story in the history of wrestling.
I mean, and my brother never got a title either. I think he might have gotten Intercontinental, if that.
Yeah, his brother had a bunch of titles except the main belt, and his brother's a certified Hall of Famer, and his brother's better in the ring than he'll ever be, and on the mic than he'll ever be. But
I think they're both different on the mic. I think they're very different. Different people.
Yeah, they're very different on the mic. Like Dustin talks about Dustin, and Cody talks about Dad all the time. That's his whole promo. Daddy, I have daddy issues. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He's just a whiny little crybaby, and that's why the internet loves him.
Tattoo.
All right.
Okay, we just went totally off topic to where Ryan was like, "I'm done."
No, he'll be back. So anyway, Roman Reigns is the top guy, and fucking deal with it. I don't know what to tell you.
I just wanted to get pedigreed once. Actually, no, he was pedigreed.
A couple times.
I want to see Cold Cash eventually win the Test of Strength tag titles. That's where I'm at.
Back to that. So the reason that hasn't happened, it's just fate, you know. Like every time that they hit their stride as a tag team, something would happen. You know, TJ got hurt a couple times. You know, halted momentum there. You know, he tore his shoulder. He had the concussion. You know, a couple of times just stop that. But they're two guys that have great chemistry with each other. Two very talented individuals, two big personalities. So it's only a matter of time before that happens.
Can you see them going up against Paid in Full?
I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't happen at TOS. It wouldn't happen at LIT. I don't know where that is going.
So wait, Paid in Full is not part of TOS anymore?
No, that Paid in Full hasn't been part of TOS in well over a year.
See, I didn't know that.
Wish those guys the best, you know, whatever happens, but I mean, it wouldn't be for a Test of Strength title match.
Gotcha.
There's so many tag teams that are out there that are great tag teams, you know, that I could see Paid in Full have matches with outside of you know, Test of Strength, but we have so many teams in house that it's tough, right? I mean, we have the Miracle Gen, which is the best tag team in the Indies. Kylon and Flash are amazing. Longest reigning IWTV tag team champs. The longest reigning. Are they the no? Well, they're the first and only 2-time Test of Strength tag team champs. And those guys are super good. But then we got teams like Counter Strike coming up, which is a great tag team. We have the Hustle and the Muscle. You have the Stepdads.
I like Hustle and Muscle.
Count out. You got guys that are hungry to come in and make an impact. Your boys, the Even Stevens. We love those guys. They're great guys.
I would love to see Frost go up against them, but I feel like Frost would demolish them.
Yeah, he probably would.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't want you to hurt my boys. Like, I love them, and they're climbing up this ladder slowly but surely, and I don't want you to.
We'll see them at LIT soon. I actually wanted them to be part of Stepladder Warfare 2. It just didn't work out booking wise, but we'll make that happen. Those guys are great guys, and I love their energy. They did a training day for us. What was it? The February training day for us? They were at.
Show.
Yeah, they great showing. Those guys are super cool. They got cool merch, so it's gonna be fun to see those guys and what they build, going forward. But there's a lot of tag teams out there that are super fun. Out of the Bell Time Club, we got Guapo Suave, that you guys haven't seen yet, but you will see on Friday. They're really, really explosive young tag team. We have Grapple God Inc. With A Game and Young Boy. So there's a lot of tag teams out there that are going to be fun. And after we do the Hard Work Heroes, after we do the initial the closers, who are one of the best tag teams in the business. Hammer Tunis and Brad Hollister. Those guys are great.
I put them against.
So there's a lot. Yeah, Love Doug, and TJ Crawford. Shot to the Heart. Those guys are a great tag team. Gabriel Sky and Tristan Ty. There's so many good tag teams out there. So after we crown our first ever LIT champion, we switch and we shift focus to the tag team tournament. And I'm going to bring you guys some of the best tag teams in the Indies, and we're going to have banger after banger after banger. So, stay tuned for that. It's going to be
now, Frost, what do you think about having like a second promotion now, like a second place in a way to call home?
I mean, to me, it's the same. Like TOS, Legacy is timeless. It's all the people that I care about and just trying to bring it to the masses. As far as the like behind the scenes stuff, like all I do all the time is try to make sure that more people know about the brands that we are presenting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what is your end goal? Like, do you want to stay in the indie circuit, or if an opportunity like came knocking on your door where you could like go to training with WWE, or I don't know how you feel about AEW or even New Japan, like, would you take the opportunity and go with it, or would you kind of stay in the indie circuit?
He wouldn't have a choice. I wouldn't give him that choice. Me as a teacher, as a trainer, as a promoter, as a friend, it's my responsibility to make sure that I can never book these guys again. Ichiban, Ryan Frost, Sammy Diaz, Mark Alexander, Nolan Pierce, Young Boy, all of these guys. Anyone that's ever trained under ours, like at the Legacy, the point of us is to grow these guys, grow these names to be the very best versions of them. It's my job to make sure that I can't afford it. Like, would I love to have Ryan Frost at Fight for Your Dreams? Yes. But if he's got to go do a show at Texas Stadium in front of 50,000 people, then he's not on my show, even if he wants to be. Like it's not up to him at that point, because he needs to be where he's going to get the most exposure, where he's going to create the biggest moment in his career. And that's our job. That's what me and Wagner are charged with creating, is opportunities for these young men and women. And the goal for all of them is the NFL. You know what I mean? It's to be in the
major
it's to
leagues.
Be in New Japan. It's to be at the elite level, performing in front of thousands of people, every night. And that's what we want for them. So Frosty's the type. Frosty's, are my Tommy Dreamer, right? He's that guy that'll bleed my colors till the day that he drops dead. I know that, and he would turn down a contract to help me out, but I wouldn't let him do that. I wouldn't let him do that. So, yeah, the goal is for Ryan Frost to, go one-on-one with Randy Orton. The goal is for Ryan Frost to go one-on-one with Tanahashi. The goal is for Ryan Frost to go one-on-one with Wardlow. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Ryan? Where do you want to see yourself?
I personally would like POS to get to the point where we're in front of enough people. You know what I'm saying?
Like an impact level.
Yes.
I'm not comparing us to other companies. That's
but that's what she's saying.
Companies compare themselves to other companies, and that's how they measure their success. I'm trying to say that I want TOS to be as big as it can be, and I'm trying to help build it from this level. Yeah, if somebody gave me a contract anywhere, of course I would take it. Like, that's
okay.
But that wouldn't be turning my back on my home promotion. No. It would be helping my home promotion, because from that point forward, they could say we took Ryan Frost when he debuted at the age of 36, and we got him on TV. That would help test the strength. Absolutely. So yes, obviously I would do that if I was presented the opportunity. But what I'm trying to do right now is help make Test of Strength and Legacy is Timeless, eventually Vanguard, eventually, whoever really invests in me, I want to return their investment, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I'm a performer at heart. I have a degree in performance. My entire life, that's all I've done. So if I can return a promotion's investment on me, then I'm happy. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give me a spotlight. You want to give me a place to succeed. You want to give me rich, what's the word I'm looking for? What do these people put out all the time? Content. You want to provide me with rich content? Then I'm going to deliver every time. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
But yeah, as a training facility, as a school, we're not measured by what we do. We're measured by what our students accomplish, and it's our job to help them accomplish as much as they possibly can. And, we have between the Bell Time Club and Test of Strength, we have the best performers in the indies, bar none. Like our guys run the world. From the Ichibans and the Ryan Frost to the Channing Thomases and the Alec Price. I mean, the Alec Prices.
Well, I kind of like what Frost said. I'm going to bounce off of Frosty for a second. And I wasn't trying to compare Impact, you guys. I was saying to get to that next level of capacity. I would love to see you guys get to that next level. Like, absolutely. Like, if you even were just on a small scale show, that would be, I'm going to quote Joe's old YouTube, fuck yeah, awesome. Like, that would be amazing to see. That way you guys don't have to sign on to the big leagues because you're already at the big leagues.
And here's the thing. I mean, where we are now is a beautiful thing. If you saw the humble beginnings that we came from, because the very first training day, was in our old school, which was a tiny little warehouse, tiny little warehouse with a leaky roof, and we had a low boy ring, and
is the low boy the one from the one?
It's a little short one. They're short.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the one that's literally to the ground?
Pretty much to the ground, yeah. Like Vinny used to have a low boy, for his shows.
I was 2TW. Sorry, I was in my head going.
So we started with something like that. It was our training ring, man, and we built it up from there. Like the very first training day had Carmelo Hayes on the card. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where we started, and this is Carmelo Hayes when he made Ichiban look like the Big Show. Like, he was a skinny kid, green as hell, super talented, but green. Had all the potential in the world, and we knew where he was going. But It was a long time before Christian Casanova hit his stride. This was early, way back then, and we started with these tiny little shows, man, and we've done amazing things since. In conjunction with the Belltime Club, we're the only wrestling promotion in 40 years to run a wrestling show at Fenway Park, and we've done that. We've done that successfully numerous times. The very first TOS Roadshow, Fight for Your Dreams 1, was in a town that we've never been to. 45 minutes away from anywhere anybody knew us, and we sold it out. We sold it out.
That's awesome.
The building held 350 people. We had 425 in there, and I turned away 200 people because the fire marshal was going to shut us down. While another company ran 15 minutes down the street with a bunch of WWE guys and couldn't draw a fucking dime. So it's one of those things where you have to respect the work that these gentlemen have put in, and not just gentlemen, because girls too have helped us along the way. Evie De La Rosa, who I think is the best female wrestler on the planet. She's headlined a lot of shows for us. She's been there, and she's brought a lot of amazing competition to TOS, and I couldn't be prouder of a first champion than her. So like what we've built as a collective.
Challenger, like women's wrestling is so good right now. We got so many
absolutely
worthy challengers that are just lined up. It's awesome.
And
they're not looking to
be
divas anymore. They're not looking to be eye candy anymore. They're actually putting the work, gaining muscle, and kicking ass.
Some of them still want to be divas, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're always gonna see like 1 out of 10 that has their.
But hey, there's a lot of guys trying to be divas too.
All right. I'm just saying, some of the guys still want to be divas too. We don't got to worry about that. We got women who want to compete for a championship and be baller.
No, and
it's nice to see that they want to go up against men sometimes. They're really trying to say, like, hey, we're here and we're showing up and fuck around and find out.
There's a lot of men that put in the work and they bust their ass, and you got to respect them, and I think wrestling's in a good place. I think that the Northeast is the best wrestling in the world right now. Not just because of us, but like as a whole, between House of Glory and and TOS and Wrestling.
Is House of Glory Tommy Dreamers?
No, that's Amazing Reds. I don't think House of Hardcore was Tommy Dreamers. I don't think Tommy's running.
Tommy Dreamer, yes.
Yeah, I don't think Tommy's running anymore. But
I knew it was House of something, so I always get the two confused. So.
But there's so much great wrestling in the Northeast right now. From Pennsylvania up, we're having great wrestling.
Which is funny because Alan Compass says down south they put on a show down south. Like they take that stuff serious.
There is some good wrestling down there. DPW is amazing. DPW is probably the best company down south, based out of North Carolina.
Which one?
DPW, but I think that overall, no one has better wrestling than the Northeast right now. Even when you go to these other places,
I think Connecticut as a whole has just really good wrestling, and
Connecticut and Massachusetts have.
Like I'm from New York, and the only wrestling that I care about in New York is Invictus because he kind of he's from New York, but does a lot of wrestling in New Jersey and New York, and so like technically Invictus would be like my home base if I had to pick within New York. I'm saying. Because I'm from New York, Invictus would be like a home base for us. But like New York as a whole is like not doing wrestling. Oh, well, there's ECPW, but they're very low.
House of Glories is a great show. We Are Wrestling is not a bad show. I got a lot of love and respect for those Invictus guys. I want to see them get back to where they were. But respectfully, I don't think anybody's doing wrestling wise what we are doing in Texas Strength, what we're doing, what we're seeing at Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling, what we're seeing at Blitzkrieg, what we're seeing at Wrestling Open, what we're seeing at Beyond. It's just there's levels to it, and these guys are just bringing top tier wrestling, presenting it to you and shoving it down your throat because we have the premier wrestling schools between Bio and the Belltime Club and Test of Strength. You know, you're getting amazing talent. You know, and you know, in Pennsylvania, Three Legacies Wrestling, another amazing show. You got PPW over there is another amazing product. So the Northeast, man, I you take any region in the world, and if you wanted to do, you know, bar for bar, the best of the best, no one's beating the Northeast, man. We're winning that hands down.
Now, Frosty, where's the farthest you've ever traveled for wrestling?
So far,
Yeah.
like so far, or like
Yeah, no, or so far, like, what's the farthest you've ever traveled, or where, like,
I've gone as
and
far
debuted?
as like, Indiana, North Carolina. But
Now, would you say down south is like a little
Virginia,
different than
right?
up?
Did I do Virginia? No.
Yeah, didn't you do Virginia with Dickie?
No, North Carolina.
Oh,
We got
my bad.
trouble in Virginia, but that was on the way home.
Now, would you say wrestling in the south is completely different than wrestling up here?
I would only speak to that from what I've heard from people, so I don't want to. I'll tell you this. You want to hear a story?
Yes.
I went out to Ohio, and I've been there several times. Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, like that whole loop is real close. So what you do is you pick a show in one of the states, and you get one for the whole weekend. You know, so you make it worth driving all the way out there, right? So I packed a couple of guys in the car, and we drove out there, and we did our show, and it was good. It was very good. We go to the bar afterwards to, you know, have some libations and enjoy each other's company and celebrate the fact that we did this drive. You know, it's an 11-hour, 12-hour drive to get out there, and you're going to do a whole weekend of wrestling. And we're at this bar, and the two guys are playing pool, and this kid who was at the event walks in, and I say, "Hey man, what's up?" High five, bang, bang, dap. And the bouncer comes over and says, "How do you know him?" I said, "Well, you know, he was at the wrestling show. I don't know. He wrestled. We're all here. Like, what's the problem?" Okay. He walks away. The bouncer comes up to me later and says, "Hey, that guy is asking how you know that guy because he just came in." And I'm like, "Well, I think it's because he's black." Like, I think that guy is asking me if I know him because he's black. So then the bouncer is like, "Yeah, I kind of think that way too. So I'm going to leave you alone." So then the other guy comes back up to me later and is like, "Hey man, why are you bringing these people in here?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So then the bouncer comes over, and then the two guys from Test of Strength, whose names I'm not going to say because I don't want to implicate anybody in anything, are playing pool, and they hold up their pool cues. Like, they're like, "We're going to defend you right now." And I say to this guy, "What's your problem? What is the problem with him, and what's the problem with you?" He's like, "I don't got a problem." And then the bouncer looks at me and says, "Well, he doesn't have a problem." I said, "Well, yeah, do you have a problem?" Knowing full well this bouncer was taller than me, bigger than me, he would have beat my ass. I said, "Do you have a problem?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay. Then I guess everybody gets to stay here, right?" Everybody got to stay there. That's how it is. And that's
You know,
not even
it
down south.
it's
South is 100 times worse.
listen, and that happens, you know, but that doesn't just happen down south. That happens everywhere. You know, I've been in situations like that in Maine, you know. But I will say this about wrestling fans down south, right? We in the
Wait,
Northeast
so
are very. Go ahead.
I got to take a pause. So Joe's going to finish the podcast. I got to put my daughter to sleep because unfortunately we did run a little late, and that's technical difficulties, nobody's fault. So I have to put my daughter to sleep before she has a conniption and does not go to bed. So I love you all. I'm
Okay.
piecing out.
Night,
Joe,
Dakota.
you're going to finish the podcast.
Joe's about to fall asleep. Look at him.
Yeah, I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. So
I'm sorry. Well, I'll make this quick. I'll say this about down south wrestling.
no problem.
In the
Don't mind.
Northeast, in the Northeast, we're really spoiled, right? Because I mean, this is where wrestling lives. You know, WWE is based in Stamford, Connecticut. It's like right down the street, right? So it's a hotbed for wrestling. We see wrestling all the time, and not only just wrestling. New York City's right here. I'm from New York. Joey, you're a New York guy. You know, it's the heartbeat of the world. So entertainment as a whole, between sports, between wrestling, Broadway, cinema. You know, we have so much culture, so much art, so much activity where we're from that we're spoiled and overwhelmed with content and distractions, right? Down south, they don't have that many distractions. So when you go to a wrestling show down south, you get these massive houses because there's nothing else. That's what they have. You know what I mean? Like that's why Memphis was so hot for wrestling. That's why Virginia was so hot for wrestling. That's why, Smoky Mountain was so great, because these towns didn't have these mega entertainment distractions. So wrestling got a chance to become part of the culture, integrated into the culture. So when you go to a company, like DPW in North Carolina, it comes with a lot of that old school lineage, where the people are very, very, very invested in the wrestling, and they understand the concept of classic wrestling more than fans up here because, it's engraved into their culture. So there's a different passion for wrestling from those fans. Not saying that we don't have those up here too, because I mean, between New York and Philadelphia, and Boston, we have amazingly passionate fans, right? But over there, it's to the point where it's like the way me and you love the Yankees, bro. You know what I mean? They love wrestling like that, and you know, the times being what they are, places being what they are, there's going to be instances like the ones that Ryan described that are going to happen everywhere. But if we're just talking about wrestling in a wrestling sense, yeah, the atmosphere is really different at a down south show because the things that we get excited for don't necessarily get that big of a reaction out there. They're really good. They like mat wrestling more. They like storytelling more. They like crowd interaction more. Where we see so many car wrecks, that we want to see car wrecks. Over there, the guy that does the 450 isn't automatically at the top of the card. It's the guy that makes the people feel. So that's something that I think is different between the down south crowd and what we do up here.
I got it. I got you. And I totally understand that on my end. We are going to wrap this up for everybody tonight because I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying my hardest to stay awake, and it's not because
It's all right, Joey.
It's late for me, but I'm sorry. I felt like we didn't get a lot to talk about with Ryan Frost on here. Unfortunately,
Listen, we could always run it back. Let's figure out how to get together. Let's do this all in the same room the way God intended. And let's rock out. Let's do it. All right?
Do that one day. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys, if you got anything to push before we sign off, go for it. Because,
Well, come see Ryan Frost become the lone survivor on Friday, March 15th at Warehouse 635 in Hartford, Connecticut. When Tested Strength presents Lone Survivor 5. It's going to be an amazing event. I can't wait to see you guys all there. If you cannot join us for that event, please come to the debut of Legacy is Timeless and our foundation, the Headlocks for Humanity Project, as we put on together Certified. And that is block 1 of a 3-block tournament to crown the first ever Legacy is Timeless champ. Match number 1, the biggest match that I have ever put together, my favorite of all time, Ryan Frost versus Ichiban. Can't wait to see you guys.
hey, Frosty, you got any final words?
How am I supposed to beat that, dude? Come on. that's it. Like we're doing this and we're riding it till the wheels fall off. So
And before I let you guys go, I didn't get a chance to say it. I wanted to say it, but then you guys got into the Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes thing, and I didn't want to I don't like to talk to people. I've probably said this before on social media and everything. You guys made my 2022 birthday probably the greatest birthday it ever was, with the biggest.
Dude, that was so much fun, man.
And
Thank you for having us, man.
I thank you for coming out. That was the Simon really knocked one out of the park on that one. Like
Simon, dude, Simon is such a good fucking friend, bro. You're lucky to have him. We love Simon. Simon, peace, brother. Can't wait to see you, man. That was awesome. And dude, when he asked, it was like there was no way we couldn't be there, So that was dope, man. And you know what? Let's fucking do that again, bro.
I'm down. I'm totally down.
Let's do that again. You know what? We need a Frost Force like cookout, family cookout or something.
I think
we need that. We do need that, but also if you come to Americana after the show on Friday,
we can hang out for a while too, man.
You don't have to drink. Like, nobody has to drink. We could all just chill.
Dude, they got great fucking wings. Their wings are amazing. I promise you, Joey G.
Party sounds like it's messed up, but you don't have to.
They got those Juan Soto wings. I'm telling you, they're great.
So, guys, get a chance this Friday. Test of Strength Lone Survivor 5 over in Hartford. Thank you, Ryan Frost. Thank you, Alex Rojas, for joining me and Kelsey, who had to dip a little early to put Dakota to bed because she is a mom. But appreciate it. Appreciate the time you guys took for me for this tonight, despite all the technical 1 million difficulties that we got to get worked still. And I appreciate all the time you guys took tonight for this, and thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, brother. Frost Force out.
Nice, and I'll see you guys Friday.